Welcome back to another episode of Motogp Mac, and today we're going to talk about Marc Marquez stating what exactly he wants for the 2025 season. Now, speaking after the race for the French Grand Prix in Le Mans, Marc said, "When I chose to come to Ducati, I knew it was the strongest bike. I wanted to see what I was still capable of doing, and since I am competitive, next year I want to have the latest evolution bike to fight for the World Championship. Regardless of where it is, regardless of the colour or the brand, I have clear ideas." Now, for me, what this is basically saying is Marc has a plan. Marc knows what he wants, and look, there is, in my view, four options available for Marc if he wants a factory bike. And what I mean by factory is factory bike with full factory support. So those options realistically are to be partner with Pecco, and I think this is number one choice is to partner with Pecco in the main factory Ducati team. And the reason I'd say that this could be his favorite option is because it's the easiest route to winning a world championship. I still believe that one of the main drivers for Marc is to beat Rossi's record. He does not want to retire not beating that record. So I do think the easiest option for Marc is to go for the factory Ducati seat alongside Pecco. Next is the KTM, which I still believe is a very, very credible option. It is certainly not the easiest route, and I will say that it is definitely not going to be the easiest route, but what we've seen with Pedro Acosta is the difference an alien makes on that bike. And, okay, Brad Binder is there. Jack Miller, I think, will move to KTM's junior team, let's just call it, of Gas Racing next season. Now, the biggest question is, will Binder survive in the main KTM team? And will it be either Acosta and Marquez in the main KTM factory team, or will it be Binder and Marquez? There is a lot of credibility, in my view, to it being Binder and Marquez. And Marquez definitely has a tie to Red Bull and KTM, so with the Red Bull sponsorship. And I do believe, there is some history there, let's just call it. The other one, which I think is a bit more out there, would be Aprilia. And the reason that I say that is more so because Marc has now found his mojo, his swagger. Marc is now back in all ways and forms now. Do you know what I mean? The confidence is right up, and when that starts to happen with a rider, so does the dollar value go up. And KTM and Ducati, I think, would pay more than Aprilia. I could be wrong, but I think they would. The last one for a full factory supported bike, and probably the furthest one from Marc's mind, would be Honda. They would be the only ones to pay a mega salary. But I think that's really, really far-fetched idea, if I'm honest. And I know people said last year he was going to do 1 year at Ducati and come back to Honda. I just don't see it with Honda where they are right now. Having a year on the Ducati, I don't think Marc is such a rider that could take the information from Ducati and translate it back to Honda. I think, I don't think he's a rider like Zarco or someone like that who is more of a development rider. Marc is more of a racer and sets it up for just himself and himself only. If none of those options happen, the only other option for Marc to have a 2025 spec bike realistically is with Pramac. And the last line of his statement for me tells an awful lot, and it gives a message to Ducati, in my view, and saying, okay, if you don't choose me for the main factory team, I would be willing to go to Pramac. And his quote was, "Regardless where it is, regardless of the colour or the brand, I have clear ideas." And his clear ideas are to have the latest evolution of bike. He hasn't said full factory support, which an awful lot of people believe he has said, but he hasn't said that. We do know that Ducati are going to have the decision made before Mugello. So that's just a couple of weeks away right now. Gigi has a pain in his head, as he said. It's a difficult decision, and I do think the people in Ducati are going to be a little bit head-wrecked from it. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. You know, these are the options that are available to Marc, and I think any team with a bit of budget and with 2025 machinery has a chance to sign Marc Marquez. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. Where do you think Marc Marquez will end up for the 2025 season? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.